what's good, guys? Today we have my boy who's a truck driver, an entrepreneur, a realtor, a motherfucking hustler, Robert Katera. What's up, man? The best of the business.
Best in the business. I appreciate that, man. That's what's up. Man. That's what's up.
So, tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah. So I'm a local realtor here in Hesperia. Been practicing real estate for about almost 10 years now. You know, and I'm a driver as well. I've been driving for like 17 years. You know, yeah, man. So yeah, I've been doing real estate for a while.
What's up with your brand, man? Tell us about your brand.
The Beastie.
Yeah, Beastie Solutions, bro.
So the Beastie Solutions, that's been around like since 2017, right around there. Yeah, it's nothing, man. It's just just something that we came up with.
What's a Beastie Solution?
So a Beastie Solutions, right? It's an approach.
Yeah,
it's an approach to whatever the problem may be. You know, so because you got so many different arenas. And every single one has a problem.
Right.
You know? And so if you take, the approach of Beastie, which is progress, which is a positive, you'll be able to get there. So that's what that's what a Beastie solution is, I guess.
So hopefully you got some Beastie solutions for us today about some real estate questions.
Yeah, man. I've been doing real estate for a while. I call it troubleshooting, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're out here and when you first start and you're trying to figure it out, I learned that there's a lot of that going on. You're troubleshooting everything. You're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Because you know what I mean. In the real estate game, it's
that's like what any business I would say, like troubleshooting. Got to find out what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, did you have the same? Did that happen a lot to you in barbering?
Yeah. Find out what system works for you, and what doesn't. And then you just, you're gonna have to fail at some things, and then you succeed at others, and then you just run with what you succeed in, or run with what you're good at.
Yep. Same approach. Like for you, how long you had House of Fades? Like.
6 years. 6 years? Yeah, so I had the Hesperia shop for 6, and then the Apple Valley I co-owned we're going on our 3rd year.
Okay, so you have 2 of them.
Yeah. And I started the shop first before cutting. I didn't want to cut. Excuse me. All I wanted to do was rent out the stations. So kind of like real estate. I just wanted to rent.
So you were troubleshooting.
Yeah, I was troubleshooting. I tried different systems. There's a booth rent system. There's a commission system. I tried different systems to see what I wanted. My goal was to have a business, make money without me being here, so not putting my time in it. So I had to do a couple try different things to reach my goal.
Did you find the solution? Or?
Yeah, I found the Beastie solution.
There you go. Yeah. That's what's up. So you kept digging until you found it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's up, man. So you have this one and the one in Apple Valley.
Yeah.
That's what's up. 6 years, huh?
6 years.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's good stuff, bro. Congratulations, man. You
Thank
know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Businesses, they tell us that real estate agents in the first 5 years, they fail. I don't know what the rate is on barbershops, but real estate agents.
Either. I feel like barbershops, though, you could fail a lot.
Yeah, real estate too.
First 5 years you could fail. Yeah, gone, I guess it depends if you give up. That's when you ultimately fail, or
Yeah, that's when it's a wrap. Like
it's a wrap.
Whenever you're done troubleshooting, it's a wrap.
When you're ever done troubleshooting.
Yeah, man. So that's where the the Beastie stuff came in, and so in my arena of real estate, my goal is to help you find a solution, because everybody comes in with different
problems.
Yeah, different problems. They need different types of help. The goal is always the same though, right? Because I'm more of a listing agent.
Yeah.
Right, and it's always to help the seller get the most for their property, and they're the ones that have that problem. Sellers, you can solve problems for buyers.
Okay.
And so I take that approach into real estate, and I like to push it with the world so they can understand they can do it too. it's just it's a mindset, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
What they say, you got to wear it every day.
You got to wear it every day. Yeah, for sure. So let's say one of the problems to
Real estate.
real estate, to buying real estate. What are like how does one finance a home? What are some financing options?
So, if you're looking to buy a house, right? Like the number one thing you got to do is financing options. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to see what's available, and there's a lot of stuff available. You know, it's just there's different criterias for all these different programs, because you have what they call government programs, which is like FHA, right? Yeah. So you have that type of program, and then you have conventional programs, right? And then you have down payment assistance programs, right? And then you have state zero money down, rural USDA loans, right? Yeah. So you have many different options as far as financing. So when you're trying to buy a house, right, it just depends. You might have 3.5% down, right? Mm-hmm. And what 3.5% down means is 3.5% down of the purchase price. So say that you were going to buy a house for $100,000, right? So you'd be looking at $3,500, right, as down payment. Yeah. And then there's going to be closing costs on top of that. So don't get that, confused with, oh, I only need this much for down payment. No, there's closing costs involved on top of whatever you put as far as the down payment.
Now, like sometimes doesn't the seller pay the closing costs, or is it always up to the buyer?
No, that's a great question, and because when you're buying a property, right, you have to pay for your own closing costs. And then there's sometimes where you can negotiate with the seller to help you with the closing costs, right?
Or like go half or
something. Yeah, go halves or pay it all, and that's going to come to me, the agent, right? Yeah. Like how good of a negotiator is your agent to help you, be able to do that. If I'm working with the seller, I don't really want to play closing costs. Okay. Right, but if I'm working with the buyer, then I need that listing agent to help me, right? Because my buyer needs help. Does that make sense? So when my buyer needs help, then we're trying to figure out a solution, some common ground. Yeah. That way we can, it's a win-win for everybody. In a sense. So yeah, like to answer your question, sometimes the seller does pay for it. And it's gonna be case by case, but it's not a guarantee though.
Yeah, because let's say two people want to buy a home, right? And one's saying, I'll buy this home and pay the closing costs. And the other one's saying, hey, QBB halfway. The guy's going to go with the one that's going to pay, right?
Yeah. Well, that would be, what if the guy that says, you pay it for me and I'll give you that much more. So now the offers are even.
Oh, okay.
So what happens then?
I don't know.
Right. So that's where your agent comes in. And you got to figure out a solution.
Is that why it's good to get an agent? Because what about do it yourself?
Yeah, do it yourself. Oh man, do it yourself. You remember we did a video where the people cut their own hair? Yeah. Man. They can. It's not impossible, right? Yeah. But they don't have somebody who's always negotiating these deals, right? Negotiating for them, because. I've been lucky, man. Shout out to all the people that I've ever worked with that are my coaches that I consider top-notch agents. And here in Hesperia, the top guys out here, like Kyle Zimbro, he's like a big mentor that hooked me out a lot, bro. Him, Tony Smith, Lamero, Chris and Jason, bro, Coldwell, they hooked it up, bro. I've been able to work with imagine working with all the best people in your industry.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna, what they say, don't they say? If you hang out with 10 broke people, you'll be the 11th.
Yeah, right. You
hang out with 10,
exactly.
the same thing with on the positive side.
Yeah, exactly. On the positive side. And man, it's been good, bro. Been able to work with them, and it really has helped for sure. Okay. Be able to help other people. Find solutions to be able to get into the game, because you're just trying to get in, bro, into buying a property. And when you look at all the financing options, there's a menu of them, and you just have to, follow the requirements and be able to fall in, Yeah. Because they got some lending for barbers, like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For self-made or not self-made, self-employed.
Yeah, right. Like independent contractors like us.
Yeah. So independent contractors.
So this is funny, right? This is kind of hot, right? But if you're a realtor, right? and you need to buy a house, right? You fall under the criteria of an independent contractor. You know?
Okay, so
And
yeah,
so I
how
have
was
to,
a realtor?
I have to have my taxes, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I gotta have my taxes, my statements, my everything. And since I'm an independent contractor, like that's what I have to do. If not, then I have to go with a different type of program, right? Which is like, uh, I think they call them non-QMs, right? And you got to put more money down. You know, it's a little bit different on the lending side. I know all the options, but as far as lending, I got my guy. You know, he'll get you right. You know, if you speak Spanish, English, I got two guys that are, you know, get you where you're trying to go.
So an independent contractor can get or buy a house. They will need taxes. If they don't have taxes, there's another program, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a different, right? So for the government programs like FHA, USDA,
Those need
like,
taxes.
yeah, like those are normal. That's the easy one. But you just need your taxes. You just got to follow the requirements, right? And then there's other ones where it's like you don't have to show taxes, but you have to show
Bank statements,
right? And then it's like, okay, cool. And then there's different there's different types of financing. You just have to find it, you know, and you have to be informed.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to take advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like, let's say a person calls you, right, and says, "Hey, I'm trying to buy a house." And let's say they're not ready, right? You look into them, they need another year of taxes, or they need to make more money, or whatever the case may be. Do you just dump them?
No. See, so like when somebody calls me, I make sure that I tell them, hey, my job is to try to help you. Yeah. Right. So if we have a conversation where you're nice and calm, like we're like pretty much is what I say. I say if I ask them the right questions, I'm gonna be able to help them, and that's my goal, right? Because like for example, today before I came over here, a lady called me, right, and she's like, "Hey, I saw this house on Oasis Street in Phelan. You know, I want to buy it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, right." And then so she goes,
Do you know her?
No, I don't know her. She
Okay.
called me off of my marketing.
Trying to buy that thing.
Yeah, so she's trying to buy, right? Like, because that's the first thing, right? Like, hey, I'm going to buy this house, right? So she's going to buy this house. So I'm like, have you ever bought a house? Yeah, I bought a house before. Okay. So they must have an idea of how long of how to buy a house.
Right.
You know, even though it was like a long time ago, maybe they have an idea, right? And so I asked her, what kind of house have you bought? So she's bought a mobile home in a mobile home park. She only owns the trailer. She doesn't own the space, right? So the one
That's
that
a little different.
Yeah. So the one that she saw in Phelan was a manufactured home, and you own the rent, right? Like you own the land.
Okay.
Right. So she was calling to find out about it, wanting to go see it, but after talking to her and asking her, she has only been working at one place for 1 year. Right. She just switched jobs. Right.
Yeah.
And so when you're switching jobs, if you're not going like in the same, I don't know if they call it like line of work.
Yeah.
Right. Somewhere in there, then there's some type of penalty that, that can be, that can cause you not to qualify for that certain type of loan or for any type of loan.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so after talking to her, she hadn't been there for that long. She had $2,000, a little bit of money saved up, but I remember, this is like a crazy story, but one time a guy, he got a house for $1,500, bro. I was working with him, and with the lender we had, he got into the house.
What year was this?
Yes, exactly, right? What year was this, bro?
1990?
No, it was, I want to say it was like 2018, bro. Or maybe 2019. It was
That's
crazy.
the same year I bought my house.
Yeah, it was like the deal, like, because the only reason I say that is because he's like, hey, man, they sent me a refund check, right? Because you know how sometimes you pay extra at escrow?
Yeah.
So, right? So he calls me. He's like, hey, man, I got a check. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, because he only put $2,000, I believe, into the
down payment?
Yeah, I think it was like $2,500 or $2,000, right? And so he got a check back, bro, for like $900, which made his actual money that he used.
$1,500. So somebody bought a house out there for $1,500.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna make sure if you go on my Google page, he's on there. Like he put it, but he didn't explain it. But man, that was crazy. So that was one of the deals that was.
So you never know what you could
it's just, you have to be willing to try to get in the game, and see what the financing options. Because for him, the financing option was that it was a down payment assistance program
That he qualified for.
that he qualified for, right? Because some programs, if you make too much, you don't qualify. Like, so USDA loans, there's a limit on how much you can make. So if you make more than that, then no, you can't qualify. You know what I mean? So that's why each one of those has its separate requirements that will allow you to see, who qualifies. But they got a lot of different programs for, independent contractors. So a barber is independent contractor. A real estate agent is an independent contractor. A truck driver that's owner-operator, he's an independent contractor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So they got a lot of different programs.
So, like, people who own their own business, pest control, whatever that is, they're also,
Independent.
Yeah. And as long as they do their taxes, they might have an opportunity to be able to take advantage of those government loans that are available. Because you think, right, they got loans from the city, they got loans from the state, and they got loans from the government, right, from federal. So that's why you hear so much information, because there's so many different, the city, the state, and federal are all giving out different types of programs. And Bank of America, right, they have some options, bro, that are like, if you know about them, right, you should go talk to Bank of America, because they have some grants going on over there. Yeah. Right now, at the exact time, I'm not sure if they I'm pretty sure they still have them, but I would talk to Bank of America. Last year, they had them. They would give you like $7,500 for closing, and like, I don't know, I think it was like $10,000 for down payment. It was crazy.
I think Chase had something like that too.
Chase?
I thought, but it was like for minorities.
So that's what people thought it was, like something like that. It was Bank of America, I believe. I don't think it.
Chase.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bank.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It wasn't even that. It's so like, if you there was certain pieces of San Bernardino County that the house, if there was like a ratio, thing, right? If it fit, like the properties would qualify in that area.
Oh, okay.
So like, if say you like a house and it's like, it's up here in Hesperia. So San Bernardino County and Hesperia, for the most part, all qualified.
Wow.
And so if you just take the information.
Would you have information on that? Like if someone was to call you, say, hey.
Yeah, if you call me, I'll connect you with the connection that I have at Bank of America. Yeah, she'll take care of you.
That's why it's good to have Robert on your side.
Yeah, hey, we're just looking for BC solutions, man.
There you go.
But yeah, so for buying a house for independent contractors, man, there's definitely options, bro, for sure. You got more questions, Wes?
Hold on, let me see. I asked you this one. Self-employed is more challenging to purchase? I don't think self-employed is more challenging. I think you just have to know more. I think self-employed in general is like this. This I know we're not even talking, but I'm just talking. But I think self-employed is like this, bro. With anything you do in self-employed, you have to do more. Like, you're not gonna get, like, if you get a job, you might be able to get health benefits. With self-employed, you have to get your own benefits. I feel like that's the same thing with buying a home. Like, you say it's not hard, but I think it is harder. But I think self-employed is harder on all levels.
Oh, for sure.
Like, because you have to be disciplined. Like, okay, nobody told me to come to the shop today.
That's double-sided, bro.
Nobody told me to be here. You got to open at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Nobody told me that. Like, that's just what you have to do. So for self-employed, like, nobody's going to tell you to do, well, nobody tells you to do your taxes when you're employed, but it's just harder to do your taxes when you're employed.
So, like, for you, like, moving forward, you should really, like, let your barbers know, like, hey, man, like, look at the big picture.
Yeah.
Versus the small, short term. So then that way they could do their taxes and they could go there and, be able to have a longer reach. Because once you're able to have a longer reach, like, bro, you can buy tools for yourself, for your business with credit.
Yeah.
At 0% interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that really helps you, like, in the long run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're trying to buy a house. I know that at first sometimes, if you're a barber, right, and you live somewhere, right, and you're just saving money because you want to buy a house, I would say save money, right, get that 20% down, and then go, rent that property out. If you're living at your parents' house, or renting a room, like where you don't really need the house. Does that make sense? Don't try to go and get 3.5% down or like none of those programs. No, if you're living at your parents' house, right, save up to 20% or save up 20% of an area, right, of an amount. Like say for example, you're not gonna live in the property, so it doesn't really matter as long as it pencils out, right? So say for example that you save up money and you can buy a house for 250,000, right, in Barstow, right? Well, then buy the property in Barstow. Doesn't matter, right? You're living at home. You're living in a room. It doesn't matter. So that way you can be able to use that money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And keep doing it. Like then, okay, so like you'll buy a house in Barstow. Let's say you rent it out, and that's an extra, I don't know, $500 a month. You just use that, or could you explain equity?
Equity? Yeah, for sure.
All right. I don't want to, I'm not trying to ask you like questions.
Yeah.
No. Like
No.
explain equity. Like,
So,
hold on. Let me lead that question.
okay.
All right. So look. So like, there's, to me, in my opinion, there's numerous of reasons why to buy, right? Why to buy versus rent, and equity plays in my opinion a big role. So could you explain equity to, like, what is equity in a house?
So equity is what your property is worth, right, versus what you owe on the property, right? So say for example you owed $50,000, right, and your property was worth $100,000, then you would have that gap would be you had $50,000 in equity, right?
And what could you do with that?
So there's different ways that people use it, there's a lot of different ways that people use it. So people could use that by using a home equity line of credit, right? You can get close to your money, that way. Or you can refinance your property, pull some money out, right? And, restructure your deal, as far as your loan, so you can take out, you have some money in the bank per se. Right? But they only allow you to get a certain percentage. Don't think that you're going to be able to get the full 100%. Like say you owed 50 and it's worth 100, they might let you go to like 70. I believe it's 70. I think it's 70%, right?
70%. Okay. So okay. So you could pull that money out, and then what could you do with it? Could I like?
Or if right now with the way things rates are and stuff like that, what I would tell people, if you have equity and you need cash, is get a home equity line of credit. Go talk to the bank and see if they'll allow you to get a home equity line of credit, because it's cheaper, right? It's going to be cheaper you're going to have to do an appraisal, right? But it's not going to cost the same. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to get your hands on the money, and pay it off within, I think it's like 10 years. They have different programs, but
I could walk into any bank and get this if I already got a home.
If you got a home and you got equity, right, you can talk to me, right? I got a lender who can, talk to you about a home equity line, or you can, and after that or before that, you can talk to people who offer it. Like, so I'm not sure any of the big banks offer it right now, to be honest with you. Right. I think that they might. I for sure, I know that I have.
So you can also get money from your home by using the equity.
Yeah, you can tap into it. Yeah,
you can tap into your equity. Mm-hmm. So, like, let's say you bought a home, right? Let's say, and you hear this too from people. Oh, I don't want to buy because I'm waiting for the market to crash.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Like that's like their way out. That's funny.
So I'm gonna wait for the market to crash. So I'm not gonna buy a home. But let's say they're right. Let's say it crashes, right? Isn't it just gonna go back up?
Well, it's just people say that, but you have to understand why they're saying that.
Why are they saying that, Robert?
They're saying that because they're not informed, right?
Yeah, informed,
right? Yeah. Right. So they're saying that because they're not informed, right? So when you go out to rent, right? How hard is it for you to rent, right? There's a lot of competition,
Yeah, actually, it is very hard. Like when I try to rent up here. Like, they was asking for, like, almost, damn, I should just buy a home. Like, they was asking for I want to say 650 credit. They were asking for, like, 2 years on the job. Almost the same thing. No, I mean, that was with me. That was my experience, but.
Yeah, no, they ask for a lot, man. When you're looking to rent, you ask for a very similar, as far as getting a loan, right?
Yeah.
As far as getting a loan, it's very similar. And then, right, you have to have great credit, man. You have to, like, everything's very similar, man. You
Yeah,
have to have
everything's
good
very.
credit.
So why just
So
buy?
if you look at it, right, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, let's look at both options, right?
Yeah.
And you might pay a little bit more, but you own, right?
Yeah.
And if you can get in right now, everybody's is doing what?
What?
They're waiting for the market to
Oh
crash.
well, yeah. Everybody's waiting for the market.
Everybody's
to
waiting
crash.
for the market
Yeah.
to crash, bro. And that's just not happening.
I ain't gonna buy because I'm gonna wait
Man,
for it to
I had a
crash.
client, bro. He left me. He got fired. I've been fired a couple times, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens, bro. You
I've
get
been fired a lot too.
You've been fired? Okay,
Yeah.
so in the game I got fired, but I was trying to help him, man. I was trying to help this guy, but one of his buddies from construction that's never bought a house told him that the market was gonna crash.
That's usually how it goes.
And so he's gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So he was gonna wait it out. I was trying to get him a house at $290,000, bro. That's over here in Apple Valley. $290,000. Those houses are going like $350 or more now. Right. So when I was trying to help him, he decided that he was gonna wait. Because he talked to this friend and, you know, things weren't going to, that's the way it was going to work. So then he waited.
Bro, there's some people that like really kind of like, if you sound confident, you know what I mean? That's all it takes.
Yeah. So he's like, he tells like, he believes his friend. It's $290,000.
Yeah.
A year and a half later, he buys a house at $375,000. I was like, whoa. Like, you didn't want to pay $290, and then you went and paid this much, because the market was gonna crash, right? And so the deal that he got, he could have got a better deal, right? If he would have just trusted the information I was giving him instead of his friends. But at the end of the day, he got his house. But yeah, he paid for it, and that's
more. Yeah.
That's what usually happens. I haven't met somebody that says, I waited for the market to crash and then I made a bunch of money.
No,
like,
so
that happened before, but like recently, I haven't seen that.
I would say if you qualify, do it now. No?
Yeah, if you qualify, man, if you can qualify for financing, that's the key. Because the financing, no matter what you're buying, man, if you're buying a car or if you're buying a house or if you're buying a piece of land, right, if you're buying a business, right, it's all based on the financing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, can I make this payment?
Right. Yeah. Now, at least in this building, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was based on financing. Can he afford it? You know, I never owned a business. I never owned a barbershop. I wasn't a barber myself when I was asking to lease this place for a barbershop.
Oh, shit. Really? Yeah, that's a trip.
You know, I never.
Wow.
So it took a long time for them to make a decision. And I was blessed and I was able to get the spot. But like you said, financing, like they're looking into all that. They're looking like into hey, has this guy been in this business before? That hurts me if I was it. Hey, does this guy does he even work in this business? You know, and I know that hurts me. But I think what kind of helped me was I always had a job. I was always able to. I showed them proof of
W-2s.
Yeah, W-2s. Always had income coming in. So it's almost the same when buying a home, right?
Yep.
Like you always have to have like, hey, I can afford this. I've been working for 2 years, like you said. That's one of the qualifications.
Yeah, because you're borrowing money from them.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're borrowing the money from somebody.
I think people just look at it as like I'm buying a home.
Yeah.
Or like they got the blockers on, and I'm buying, but you're actually borrowing the money to get the home. Mm-hmm. And the middle part where the borrowing is that's the ones that's like, hey.
That's the most important one.
Yeah, those are the ones that say, hey, well, what did you do? How's your credit?
Yeah. Where you work? Remember Craig? When Craig on Friday, I wouldn't feel comfortable letting you $200 if you ain't got a job.
Exactly.
Right? Like, so like that's what happens,
that's
man.
What
you know what I mean?
for.
Like when you're buying a home, you're renting a home, but buying is always going to be, a great solution, right? Mm-hmm. But it just has to make sense for you. Does it make sense for you? Mm-hmm. Because you could be paying way less for shelter, man. Yeah. But if you're paying way less for shelter, save your money and take advantage of one of these loans in a different area within your budget, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if the house is 150, 160,000, 170,000, right?
Yeah.
If you qualify for this loan, right, and say it was in Barstow, right, or like all you care about is can you rent it out, right? Because it's a business. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so, no, it makes sense to
me. Because you're just going to be able to live where you're living. You don't have to go live in that property. Now, if you're going to live in the property, like say, for example, people say, hey, can I buy a fourplex, man? I want to buy a fourplex, right? Yeah. So you can buy one, and those fall under the 3.5 FHA.
Yeah, you have program. To live in one.
Yep, you can live in one, exactly. Yeah, you can live in one, and then you can rent 3 of them out, right? Yeah. So that's a hack that people can try to take advantage of as well. You know, if you have good W-2s, you know, you have good income, you have good credit, you have down money, like, you know, you can be able to take advantage of that program, you know, and be able to do it, you know, if you have W-2s, because if you're going to live in one, you're going to rent out the other 3. You know,
and you might even make a profit or break even.
Yeah, you can, and you just got to, for sure, you got to stay there for 2 years, and then you can make a decision on leaving and, you know, renting out the rest. Because for sure that you have to stay there for 2 years for the most part.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay, and if you don't,
if something has to happen where it's like something, like they call them, I think, something circumstances. Extenuating circumstances or something like that. Okay. Where if it's like something where you couldn't avoid it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then yeah, you can rent out the property type thing. I don't know exactly how it works. I've never been with somebody who had that problem, you know, and had to go the paperwork route. They just kind of walked away, and then if they came in and checked, and then they would deal with it at that point. But you know, for the most part.
All right. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna go rogue here. Okay. If you don't know it, then it's cool.
Okay.
All right. But I feel like
I'll do my best, man. I'll do my best. Let's go. Think about the people, man. Think about the people. Think about the barbers. Think about the truck drivers, the entrepreneurs. Yeah. What can?
Well, I'm thinking about entrepreneurs.
Okay, gotcha.
This is for sure an entrepreneur question.
Let's go.
All right, look. So, all right, I bought a home, right?
Okay, you bought a home.
I want to increase the value of that home because I'm an entrepreneur. I need every investment to make me money.
So you're trying to grow equity.
I'm trying to grow equity.
Okay, gotcha. So what can you do, right?
What is the fastest way to grow equity?
So, man, they got different ways to grow equity, right? Yeah. They got different ways. And what I've seen, like in the past year and a half, is maybe you've heard about it. Have you heard of ADUs?
Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me see.
Okay, let's see.
Something dual. No, I forgot.
Yeah,
I know it's additional. Okay,
additional dwelling unit.
Additional dwelling unit. Okay.
So they got ADUs, right? They got ADUs now, and people are taking advantage of that to be able to add like another little house to their property, right? And from my understanding, right, they're gonna allow them to be able to build these now, and you're gonna be able to sell it separate, man. So say, for example, you had an ADU, right, in the back of your house, right? So you'll be able to separate it from your property, and then you'd be able to sell it off.
Damn.
Right?
Damn.
Right? So, like that is something that's, like, is becoming where it's becoming very easy, like, not easy, I would say, but people are starting to use that strategy of adding ADUs. But just so you know, if you're listening for Hesperia area, right? Like in Hesperia, you have to have at least an acre, right? At least an acre. You got double check with the city, right? But you got to have at least an acre, or you have to be connected to sewer, or be able to connect to sewer, and you have to connect to the sewer, right? To build an ADU, right? But there is like other ways in. And if you call me,
we can sell your ADU today.
No, I'll let you know because there's ADUs, there's you know, they got different ways in.
I got an ADU.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So for example, you got your ADU, so you might be able to separate it and then you can sell it off. Yeah, that's what, you know. Is becoming, you know, like, so that's the you know, you can fix your kitchen, you can fix your bathroom, you know, you can paint your house, you can paint it from the outside, you can put some roof. All that's going to help your value. It just depends on who sees it, right? If you're looking to show it to, if you're going to refinance it, that's one type of appraisal. And if you're going to sell the property, that's a different type of appraisal. You know what I mean? Like the appraiser's gonna look at it
Really,
different.
I didn't know that.
They're gonna look at it different for the most part because one's point of sale and the other one is refinancing. They're securing the loan for the.
For the property.
Yeah,
they're making sure.
Yeah, so you're asking for equity.
Yeah.
They're like,
well, how much is it worth?
Exactly. Right. Oh, well, it's worth 100,000. Here are the comparables, and there was some comparables that sold for more, but you're safe at 100. Like, don't even worry about it. They're not gonna like really do it.
But if I'm selling it, they're gonna try to see, oh well, how much did your neighbor sell his house for?
Yeah.
Or how
So
much
now the seller, the listing agent, like me, right?
Oh,
I'm gonna be able to justify the price, right?
Oh.
Like, why are you comparing that property to this property? Right, I'm gonna try to help him. Like, hey, look, this property looks very similar to this property, and this property sold for this much more.
He could sell it for
so he can like see that there's value in it, and he can understand the value that there is different values. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people, if they say, hey, I'm willing to pay $615, for the property, then we have to justify that it's worth $615. Other houses that are bigger have been selling for $625. This one's $615. It's less than that, and it's similar.
All right. So to increase value or equity in your property, you would say adding an ADU, which is adding square footage to your property. Correct.
You can do that, right? That's one way.
But ADU is adding square footage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna add it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. A detached garage, would that be square footage? I don't know.
That's a good question. You were gonna have to hit the city.
For sure.
That's the answer to that.
I want to say, the city. I want to say when I because I put the ADU in the detached garage, and I want to say it added square footage, but I'm not positive.
Okay, so you put the detached garage and then you put the ADU in there.
It was already a detached garage.
Okay.
But I want to say the city said, because I live in Apple Valley, so I want to say the city said since you made it a living area, it added square footage.
Oh, okay, yeah. If the ADU, you put it on the detached garage, and now you don't have a garage.
No, I don't have a garage.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you did add square footage, and now you don't have a garage. Because I believe, just double check with the city, but I'm sure that a garage is different than a living space.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah,
but
so it allows you because you have a restroom and that.
Okay.
And that's one way. And like I said, man,
what about landscaping? Like, if I fix up, let's say I have a dirt front yard and I put a driveway in there, does that increase value?
What do you want to do? Do you want to sell it, or are you just looking?
Oh, right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's say I'm looking to sell it.
Yeah. So I come from somewhere where I've spent a lot of money on grass, and you got rock. I love it. Right, right. I'll pay $5,000 more than what they're offering you because I love it. Right.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does it increase value? It depends on your buyer.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Pool.
Right, a pool. I come from Palm Springs. Everybody has pools. I need a pool.
Okay.
Right, versus somebody here. Oh, it would be nice to have a pool. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
right?
Okay. All right.
You know
so
what
it just depends.
It's
always on the person.
You're always gonna depending on your market, man. Yeah, you wanna.
Refinancing. Does a pool increase?
What do you mean? Like, so?
Like, if I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just trying to refinance it. I'm trying to tell the banks that, hey man, my property is worth a lot more. It has a pool. I added a pool to it, so it's worth a lot more. And
that's gonna be the appraiser.
Oh, okay.
Right. So is your property gonna secure the loan?
Yeah.
What they got it at? Is it? Hey, he's only asking for 20. Yeah, with the pool, houses for pools have been selling X, right? Because you have to match it. They have to match it for the most part. Because I've talked to a lot of appraisers, man. Some guys are cool. They help you out. Other guys won't talk to you, but I mean, it's,
so
you learn a lot, like, troubleshooting. You just learn a lot, man. I've got a lot of information from a lot of the people and that I've been able to, be in contact with. And since listing on the listing side, I really started to look at it from a space of an appraiser. And I would talk to a lot of appraisers and meet them. And that's because it's to appraise a property, to get a listing price, you have to be honest with yourself, and you can't really, you know what I mean? And you have to really, they have to be very similar, man. That's how that's what I've noticed. The common denominator between all the appraisers, they have to be very similar. The properties do very similar.
To get the right listing price.
To get to the sale price to the end price, because the listing price is one, right, and then the sale price is another, and me as a listing agent, my job is to get the most for my seller, but to make sure that the appraiser sees the value in it, because the appraiser could say less, right? So I told my client his property is worth 600, and the appraiser says it's only worth 590, right? Like, it's like, what happens to the other 10? You know, who messed that up? And so for me, it's like, that's where I want to make sure that I'm pretty accurate, you know?
Gotcha. But you are pretty accurate, because you're the best in the business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you check the reviews, man, I've been able to sell properties for, top dollar, you know?
Yeah.
And, higher than the listing price, because we have a strategy, man. We have a strategy. And it's not my strategy. If you guys are into real estate, you just look up a guy or any type of coaching, personal development, right? Just kind of switch your arena, right? But if you look up a guy named Mike Ferry, right? Mike Ferry. He's a real estate coach.
Ferry?
Yep. Okay. He's a real estate coach. And then his son's a real estate coach, Tom Ferry. Like those guys, it's good stuff, man. Okay. Great information. They have the process all set up. It's like looking up. If I was to say, hey, I want to cut hair tomorrow, who would just tell me to look up?
Oh, look up West Side Cuts.
Right. All right. There you go. West Side Cuts. He's gonna coach you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go. I got you.
When it comes to coaching, those guys are the top of the business, bro. And that formula that I've been able to learn from them, it works anywhere, and it helps people. The main thing is that it helps people. You know what I mean? It solves a problem. It's a solution. And it's just that's all I'm trying to do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
BC Solutions.
Yeah. Just trying to help people get top dollar. Because for me, if anywhere in Hesperia looking to sell property, I work mostly with sellers these past 2 years.
Okay.
But I know a lot about the buying side and how people can get connected with buyers,
just call
lenders. Yeah, just call me.
Just
exactly.
call you.
Just call me, man, and I'll get you connected. Don't even worry about it. And I speak Spanish. Say my name. What is it? Robert.
Robert Contreras.
Contreras.
Your boys have a hard time with Spanish.
Yeah. Robert Contreras, man. Yeah, but yeah, man. What else do you want to know about real estate, man?
I think that's it. I really just wanted you on here because I get a lot of questions from barbers, like how do you buy in being self-employed, and I feel like I can't really answer their questions. For one, I'm not Robert, you know what I mean? For one, I'm not Robert, and for two, I bought my house when I was employed. I had a shop, but the shop I did deductions. Mm-hmm. So the shop didn't count as a plus.
Did you actually live through it then?
I lived through it.
You actually lived like, hey, I shorted myself.
Yeah, I shorted myself for sure. Right. I had a whole business, and I did so many deductions. The realtor said, hey, you only made 10,000 or whatever she said, and it didn't help. What helped was I was a full-time. Well, actually, I had 2 jobs, so I was full-time at both of those jobs, and that's what helped me buy. Mm-hmm. So I felt fake telling a barber, hey, this is how I did it, because I didn't do it like that, Right. So I just like to, like you, like BC Solutions, I like to give information out. Mm-hmm. I like to give game out to, if you're a barber, this is what you do for your line of work, this is how you do it. I do know that even as an employee that it took, a lot of planning. It wasn't as of, hey, I'm gonna call Robert and he's gonna give me a property in 2 days. Yeah. It was like, okay, look, you gotta work on your taxes. You need 1 more year of your taxes, so it might take a year. For me, mine was debt to income ratio. My debt was high, so it was messing up how much I could get approved for. But we was able to find a solution for that. So it's just, I just wanted to give barbers like a way that this is how you can, these are steps to buy a home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And
or any independent contractor.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing, man, because this applies to everybody who's a business owner.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody who's a business owner, no matter what business you're in, that applies. That's the type of programs that they have available for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, for us. You know, because me, I've also, when I bought my property like you, you know, I've used the W-2, so I've never had to use my taxes to buy a different property because I've always had both.
Yeah.
You know, I've had my real estate taxes, and so I can be able to show them and be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that way, you know, we can take advantage of whatever is available for us that way.
And a lot of barbers,
you know, cause
like to hide their money.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's short-sighted. You know, like I said before, they just think that that's how they're gonna make the most money. But the reality is that they're just slowing up the process. Mm-hmm. Just hit the process running, and you're gonna be gold. Yeah, you know what I mean. It just you just have to stick to it and be able to. You know, if you're going to really stick to barbering or a business,
you got to discipline yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it'll help you grow for sure as far as, you know, being able to get credit, because that's the big one, man.
Credit's the big one?
Yeah, they got to, you know, some good stuff.
What's the number out there?
For a credit score?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was looking for a loan the other day, and they were like, oh, I had a 740 something, right? And I was like, is that good? They said, yeah. So I'm like, okay, 740 something. Okay. That's cool, but
740 is a goal, Barbers.
Yeah, 7 Gordon. nah. Hey,
740 is a goal. Don't talk to Robert. I was like, if you got lower than 740, you can talk to Robert still. He's going to tell you what you need.
You can get loans with different programs. But like I said, if you're looking to buy a house, man, I'm saying, look, let's talk. Let's get you connected with somebody at Bank of America. And let's see if you can go that route. Or if not, if I got another 2 guys also that, you know, if you can't work with the programs they got, you know, I would suggest, hey, Bank of America, or the other way around, whichever one you want. You know, whatever works best for you, whatever the solution is, right? Yeah. Because you know what the program is called at Bank of America? What? Affordable Home Solutions.
Same thing like BC Solutions.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why we knew.
We're just trying to solutionize.
Yeah. We're just trying to make sure that people who have problems, you know, owning a home, just based off of information, Affordable Home Solutions program is available.
It does start with information, Robert.
You know, and that way we can, you know, help some people, help some barbers, help independent contractors, you know, and help it grow up here in the high desert, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just
all right, Robert. Hey, thank you for having.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, hey, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, you know, this information helps the people in, you know, the barbering arena or any other arena that's independent contractors, man.
For sure.
No?
For sure. I'm sure.
Just trying to give them that beastie solution.
Hell yeah.
That's right, man.
All right.